I think it's important to distinguish several layers of facts and attitudes covered by the term. The first one, visible and quite easy to grasp, is this rise in anti-Islamic discourse coming from either politicians, religious agents, or media. The second layer refers to acts of discrimination that Muslims can experience on a daily basis because of their religion. And I think it's important to make this difference because in the US, Islamophobia concerns more the public discourse today on Islam, much less acts of discrimination against Muslims because of their Islamic features. And case in point, in November of 2010, the FBI statistics on hate crimes for 2009 was released, and it showed that out of 1,376 hate crimes reported, 9.3% concern Muslims. The majority of hate crimes are directed to Jews in the US. So we have also to take these numbers with caution. First, it's only reported acts. Second, what do people do when they attack or discriminate? Is it based on religion? Is it based on something else? Immigrations or ethnic visibility? There are several things here to take into account. But this is an important point to keep in mind in the sense that this is not an isolated statistic. Since 2001, we know that the level of discrimination against Muslims has not raised so much in this country. But in the last year, the discourse against Islam has been more and more central in the public space. While if I turn to Europe, we see that there is an anti-Islamic discourse going on, obviously, even before 9/11. But at the same time, there is a continuous series of discrimination acts in the workplace, in the school, in the political participation that make things much more challenging for Muslims on a daily basis. Again, the reason for these multiple acts of discrimination is that it is not obvious all the time that the cause of discrimination is Islam as such. And Muslims in Europe present a specificity in the sense that they are the majority, or they are seen as the majority of immigrants. They have a very disenfranchised, lower position in the domain of economy, of job, of education, and this makes things also very challenging in the sense that if you go to Europe, you will hear a lot sort of conflation between Islam and underclass, between Islam and immigration, also between Islam and ethnicity, because in each European country there is one dominant ethnic group that happens to be Muslim. In France, people who are Muslims tend to come from North Africa. In the UK, they tend to come from South Asia, and in Germany, from Turkey. So it's very easy for the non-Muslims to identify ethnic or cultural traits or behavior with Islam. And so the debate also on multiculturalism, which is very central in Europe, is very much related to the Islamic question, while it's not the case in the US. Same thing, the debate on immigration is here in the US, but it's not related to Islam. And there is obviously a debate on economic issues or social issues, but it's not related to Islam. While in Europe, all these topics more or less intersect with the question of Islam and Muslims, so it makes the situation for Muslims more challenging in the sense they can encounter discrimination in all these aspects of their life, and people will phrase it in terms of Islamophobia. That's why also it's interesting for me to see that the term has been very much criticized by scholars in Europe for this reason, because it does encompass too many aspects, either social, economic, cultural, that do not automatically concern Islam as a religion. While in the US, I would say that the recent debate over the last year is clearly much more defined in terms of Islamophobia, in the sense that it shows a clear fear of Islam as a religion.